My name is Dr. Chris AC. Ogbonna. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Economics, Phoenix University, Abuja, Nigeria, and I was a member of the cohort 7 of the African Science Leadership Program in the University of Victoria. Well, my expectations from the ASP workshop was a kind of trying to redefine my leadership journey. My leadership journey was practically one of the major expectations I had before being part of that training. And at the end of the day, my expectations were met, of course. My expectations were met. Incidentally, the facilitators were very thorough and well equipped with the relevant knowledge and skills to impact leadership knowledge. And then they were quite friendly and quite receptive on arrival. And right from the period that the program lasted, there was also this issue of time management and being time conscious, which was one of my key values, sticking to time and all that. And on my arrival, being part of the program, I saw it playing out effectively that they were quite ready to ensure that things are done at the right time within the shortest possible time. They displayed the high level interpersonal relationship skills, where we had to, because the program itself was based on this interdisciplinary focus and mentorship. And then all the expectations were met on arrival, and then I was quite impressed. Well, the program itself was quite a wonderful and rewarding experience. It was an unregrettable life experience I had in South Africa. That was the time I had the privilege to be in South Africa for the first time. And then I had the privilege to get connected with a diverse group of people from other parts of Africa. As I speak to you now, most of those connections or contacts that we have made, people from Egypt, people from Zimbabwe, Cameroon, we keep talking from time to time, even those of them in South Africa. And then, I mean, it was quite a whole lot of experience. You know, just like I said earlier, my expectations were met because the leadership journey was fully redefined. There was indeed a mind shift in my leadership journey at the end of the day, at the end of that training. I describe it as a life-changing, training that really redefined my leadership journey. Oh, the memorable moment was the time Dr. Leslie took us on part of the sessions that he had with us. He told us that, you know, there was a kind of memorable moment we had on that process. I've forgotten that aspect, the way he started it. And it was, he took that memorable moment from a human rights radio in Nigeria, where before they commence any radio program, they use it to kind of engage, a kind of mouth-watering engagement of the audience to make the audience get connected to the program they wanted to transmit. So Leslie duplicated that, and it was quite a memorable one. I remember vividly one of my colleagues in Zimbabwe was very, very fond of that memorable moment each time he wants to catch a private joke with us and all that. Well, very interesting. And then on my arrival from South Africa, the program itself has been quite instrumental in shaping my leadership journey, in making me a more confident and capable leader. You know, the program provided a platform for me to interact with a diverse group of people from various academic and professional backgrounds, fostering a rich learning environment. It might interest you to know that since I came back from that training, I have facilitated 3 different programs in Nigeria. And one of basically was centered on leadership training, which I conducted, I facilitated, and then it was only a mind shift in the lives of people. You know, one particular incident that we had on the course of that training, was a kind of a group project that we took as an initiative in presenting the future of Africa. And I was privileged to be one of the key persons that were tasked with developing such a sustainable solution for rural community in Africa. And at the end of the day, I remember that there was a lady from Kenya that was asking me if I was a politician. I said, no, I am not a politician. Even though Aristotle said that every human being is a politician and politics exists in every aspect of our human life. And I asked her, why were you asking? And she said that I have that leadership quality in me, and that from what we have interacted so far, you feel that I'm going to do better as a leader. And but then again, the exposure to different leadership styles and perspectives within the ASLP community broaden our understanding and effective leadership, especially the issue of leadership model. I learned the importance of empathy, adaptability, and a global mindset. Finally, currently I am the head of Department of Economics in Phoenix University, Abuja, Nigeria, and it was part of the training I got that landed me into this present position. That is my first time in the history of my academic career that I had the privilege to be a head of department where I begin to speak in the University Senate. So the program itself really enhanced my leadership skills and be able to give me that level of confidence that when I'm speaking, I speak with facts and try to be an agent of change, to the society where I find myself. An African science leader is a change agent. It's a change agent that works tirelessly to improve the lives of Africans through the power of science to drive sustainable development. An African science leader, by my own definition, possesses an ethical compass. This is because their research and innovations are guided by a commitment to social responsibilities and the well-being of African communities. Africa is made up of 53 countries, and then there is a particular issue with Africa. And then we are very innovative, we are very rich, and we're very hardworking, and that is why we discovered that most European nations feel that Africa is a gold mine, and they do everything possible to come to Africa to exploit us in the name of trying to develop us. So we have that strong ethical compass, and that is what an African science leader is all about. An African science leader also demonstrates exceptional leadership skills in training, inspiring, motivating, and collaborating with diverse teams to achieve economic goals. I'll give you a typical example. In South Africa, for instance, the late Nelson Mandela of blessed memory, he was one of the persons that fought Apartheid to stand still. And then at the end of the day, South Africans were so happy with that commitment, despite he's no longer living. But as an African, he demonstrated an exceptional leadership skills in inspiring, motivating, and collaborating with diverse teams to achieve a common goal, which he eventually achieved. An African science leader is a skilled communicator. They effectively bridge the gap between scientific knowledge and its applications to real-world policy situations, just like what you are currently doing now as an African science leader. You are invariably a skilled communicator. You are effectively bridging the gap right away with scientific knowledge and its applications in real-world policy situations based on the socio-political and economic context of Africa continents. That is what an African science leader is all about. An African science leader tries to fosters innovation. He's quite innovative and creative. They encourage creativity and off-the-box thinking to develop novel solutions to African problems. And that is what ASLP stands for. They were basically designed in order to provide or develop novel solutions in addressing African needs, African problems. African science leaders invest in development of the next generation of African scientists and leaders, just as ASLP and Global Academy, Young Academy has invested in us, in trying to make us a better African leaders. That is what an African science leader is all about. Well, as African science leader, ASP marks a significant milestone in African scientific progress. My major message to them, to Africans, is that for us all hands needs to be on deck in order to sustain the momentum. We must collectively harness science and technology's potentials in Africa by fostering collaboration, investing in research and youth development. We can build a prosperous Africa if we invest so much in enhancing research. Just like I think the Steve Young has actually invested and become the major sponsor of this African Science Program. The ASP and similar initiatives are crucial to empowering future leaders. And since then, we have been so motivated in trying to be what Africa is all about, because ASP has really done what it should do in trying to help us. Finally, together we can shape a brighter African future. Empowerment. ASP is an empowerment.